Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So, welcome to Walker Air Transport and our NASCAR 2025 series. We're here trying to get out of Atlanta, hoping this will work. Because somehow it's not. I don't know that it's, whoops, I don't know what just happened there. Doesn't appear to be picking up in the Walker Air Transport feature there, or the tracker in smart cars. So hoping it's got me there, but I don't know. Interesting. So we're gonna enter the aircraft. Alright, there we go. I guess just being outside, it doesn't sense that. I don't know that I've ever watched it at that point, so that was intriguing, that's for sure. So, get ourselves going. Get standby up. As always, we're going to just try to move along here. So, we're here at Hampton. We're going to have a few little planes. We're over here on the GA ramp. We're going to head out that way to get to the runway. But should be pretty simple, I would hope. Hoping it'll be obviously a easy flight. So just finished at Echo Park. Last week was the race, and Chase Elliott was the victor there. So everybody had fun. Saw there was a really big 22-car wreck that happened. So definitely, I'm sure, folks a little, I don't know. I mean, you never want to see anybody hurt, but a lot of times people are like, yeah, I watch it for the wrecks, So, not sure what your enjoyment of NASCAR might be, if it's anything like that, but still have to go get my flight plan in here. So we're going to have it pull up Navigraph charts. Seems to be taking longer than normal.
TOS system test. Okay.
All right. So, yes, we want to import the flight from SimBrief. So we're going from Atlanta to Chicago for the Chicago street race that's taking place. And so going to be heading into Midway, so we're staying away from O'Hare. Really couldn't find a good location other than that. So we're going to do Fisk Droz. That'll get us a little bit of a path there that we'll see change up. And then we are coming in on 22 left, as you can see. And we're going to do the RNAV Y. So we're going to add that one. That should be good. Hopefully it picked the right thing. Yep. Alright. So I think we're set there. So we're going to want to export. Load is the active flight plan. And we should be good there. Let me just take a quick peek. Yeah, we need 6,200 pounds of fuel, so we're good there. We have our APU on. So everything is set there. And we're going to go ahead and, what have we got? Clearance 128.575, 128.575. So yeah, I ran the street course race in iRacing yesterday. Oh my god, I forget how insanely difficult that track is. I felt like I could never get out of second gear safely. If I tried anything in practice or whatever, I kept slamming into the wall. It was awful. So kudos to those folks as they do their racing and all that, but wow. Alright, so we should be all set here. If I go there, we'll have the flight plan. I don't know why it's 11,000 feet. We definitely want higher than that. So let's see. So I don't know. We're going to try to get to our 34,000. So there we go, flight level 34. It's 50 miles away, I believe, so we should be perfectly fine with that. And transfer over there. Hampton clearance, Walker 4021 requesting IFR to Chicago Midway.
One second while I grab the paperwork.
Alright, we'll just get our squawk in there. We'll get everything else kind of set. Nav, VNav. Oops.
Walker 4021, cleared to Midway. Radar vectors noon. Then as filed, climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 34010 minutes after departure. Departure on 128.575 squawk 6755. Released for departure. Clearance void if not off by 1418 Zulu. Time now 1403.
Cleared to Midway, radar vectors noon, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 34010 minutes after departure. Departure on 128.575, squawk 6755, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, read back correct.
Alright, get ourselves set here. It always puts us a little too low. Get both of the engines in run mode. And we'll get started up here. Alright, not sure that we have a ground. We don't, since clearance is void. It's not telling us specifically. It didn't give us a runway, but I'm expecting on leaving at 06, as you can see, so that is what we will do. Alright, that is set there. But yeah, nothing, no real taxi directions they need to give us.
UPS 1302, heavy descent to 5000, expect your nav approach runway 21.
Descending to 5000, expecting RNAV 21, UPS 1302 heavy.
Right, get ourselves
Skylane 56 Foxtrot, cleared into the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace. Maintain
set
VFR
there.
at
We'll get the
4500.
taxi on.
Skylane 56 Foxtrot negative on squawk. Maintain VFR
Alright,
at 4500.
we're set at 4. Let's see. We are 3011 on the barometer. So we want to dial that in. Alright, we're all set there. Everything is good. Should be able to turn the APU off. Get the flaps down to 5, or, well, first position. And we should be all set. So, parking brake off. I don't have my stabilizer set, so let me get that adjusted. That's why we've got no takeoff on the PFD. Now we're in the green. And so I should be able to get moving here. There we go. So, get ourselves clear. I probably, honestly, want to turn the other way. So, because otherwise I gotta spin way further. Throttle up a bit more. Come on. This is struggling to get going, but again, I got the nose turned pretty sharply here. So I'm sure it needs a little more power. We'll back off so we're not going crazy here. Ooh, a little bit of a level change there. This again is partially why sometimes we don't, well, we always don't have the terrain or the crash detection. because yeah, that could have been really bad with that crazy bump there. Because some of the airports just really aren't that well set up. So, should be here, and then we'll go to the left, get ourselves out to runway 6. Again, looks like we've got a little bit of uneven terrain. I'm not liking that, man. Look at, I mean, maybe it is how it is. I mean, it's not necessarily flat everywhere, but looks like the end of the runway there is a little up in the air. I'm gonna back the throttle off a bit. Might be too much. So we'll goose it a tiny bit. But yeah, getting this done day before happens to be the 4th of July, but you know, when I'm actually recording this, but yes, this is your July 5th travel up. I believe the race is, yes, Sunday at 2 p.m. Woohoo, a little bit fast there. Alright, and again, we're cleared for departure, so there's nothing we really need to do other than get going.
FedEx 1243, have your approach descend and maintain 4,000 clear to direct Khmp join 27 localizer.
Get ourselves there.
4,000 direct Khmp joining 27 localizer 1243.
Let's stay on the taxiway. That's always a good thing. But again, one of the things the VIPs like is we get on the plane and we get going. Having flown corporate jets a little bit, that is an awesome thing. Like, you're on the plane and you're taking off 5 minutes later. It's terrific. So that is what I strive for, certainly, and that helps keep things a little orderly here as well. You know, we've certainly got other series where we're doing more formal stuff. We got a bunch of passengers boarding and whatever. Alright, let's rotate. Come on. Runway's starting to end here. I'm like, alright, get that up. So, and should be good. Get ourselves on the auto throttle, so then we won't have that problem.
Walker, 4021, radar contact. Over Atlanta Speedway Airport at 1700 feet. Hampton altimeter 30.09er.
It
Climb
should.
and maintain flight level 340. Turn left heading 340.
It should
Vectors
lower
noon,
the
no
nose
navigation.
and hopefully get things going. So let's see. Why am I not seeing? Oh, great. Hampton altimeter 3009, climb and maintain flight level 340. Turn left heading 340, vectors to none, then on navigation. Walker 4021. Alright, so hopefully he'll start climbing soon. I'm sure he's just speeding up at the, whoop. I want to go to 40-some thousand. But yeah, I'm sure we're getting to 250 here. We have flaps up, we have gear up, so everything is good. Airport is behind us. I think it's there. I think we got the speedway and the airport. But yeah, starting to level out. And then again, we'll be at 250, and then hopefully it will switch to climb mode. So I'll try to let it do its thing. I was just a little aggressive in the climb, and that kind of tossed things off a little bit. Alright, doesn't look like it's going to, so we'll do that, and then should be able to throttle up, and we should be able to climb some. Because again, getting to 34 is a bit, and we are only 42 miles from none. So as you should be able to see, a little over 500 miles still to go. We're always like so low on these seats. I don't understand why it does that, but it does. I mean, some of it is we're certainly, you know, we're at a 10-degree angle here.
Delta 1721.
You know, we're climbing at 7,700, so a little bit of a weird artifact there, but oh, that's fun.
I'd like to
It should adjust on its own.
tower frequency, please.
Alright, so we've dropped the nose for sure. We saw that. About 7.5. Alright, so now again, because we can speed up, it's getting me to 270. Can turn the landing lights off. And then shortly we'll be up there, but yeah, it's still dropping the nose a little. And that's kind of what we start running into, is it does slow down with the nose. I mean, it's climbing a little. Well, it poked up to 5,700, so we're flying over Hartsfield here, so we're literally right over. I don't know if we can get the view, but there's Atlanta.
Approach on 124.6.
So that should be a familiar view for anybody who's ever come in here. Contact Atlanta approach 124.6, Walker 4021. Oops. Atlanta approach, Walker 4021 with you. Flight level 180, climbing flight level 340.
Walker 4021, Atlanta departure, good morning.
Alright, so, and again, we literally were overflying Atlanta, but, you know, we were way up there, nearly 18,000 feet, so certainly not a problem there. But passing through 20, and the question is again, in the next 30 miles, can we get up to 34,000? That will be the unknown, but hopefully will be good, and that should then hopefully give us some clarity as we continue to go. What I didn't do is just make sure that I don't have any discontinuity. Doesn't look like we do. So at some point we need to be down to 6,000, 11,000. So we'll see where we want to drop down at some point. But yeah, just not getting a lot of view there, but we've literally been flying straight, so, and like I said, you can see the terminals of Hartsfield back there, so it's already several miles behind us, probably, you know, 10, 15 miles out of Hartsfield airspace, or, well, not the full airspace, you know what I mean, over Airport Center. Wow. I've been getting that lately a good amount. I don't know why, and it could be because I'm using FSLTL, so that may just be overburdening the system a bit. You know, if I look and check that out, I mean, we're not seeing a whole lot. I mean, but there is, again, because we're over Atlanta, like there is a lot of air traffic.
United 1261, heavy
It'll
traffic,
start
1
to drop off, I would think, but...
Traffic in sight, United 1261.
Alright.
Delta 1028, descend and maintain 4,000. Altimeter 30.34.
You know, we're in the seat. That's the problem.
Walker
Like,
4021,
there isn't
Atlanta
much room.
departure. Contact Atlanta Center on 135.0.
Contact Atlanta Center 135.0. Walker 4021. Atlanta Center, Walker 4021 with you, flight level 290, climbing, flight level 340. So there's a United that's kind of heading toward our path that, oh, well, we're seeing traffic somewhere, so, because there is one we're headed toward that's at 33,000, so, but I'm not sure what we've got going on here, other than running out of resource usage. But, you know, our FPS should change things. Yeah, I can't pull those up right now. It's just definitely causing some concern. So yeah, I don't want to pop windows up and down again if I can avoid it. It kind of messes up the feed here. But coming up on flight level 320, so 2,000 more feet, and we've got 5 miles. So I would hope we can make it. I mean, you would be descending about 1,700, so climbing faster than that, in theory, should be faster than 3 miles per 1,000 feet. But we've got the alarm getting close, and really once we hit none, that's kind of on the outskirts of Atlanta proper. So we're kind of getting out into the country a little bit. The cities, we're leaving the city behind, so you can see a lot of stuff back there. But we have made it with not much to spare. So we did just get there. And now we're going to go up to 0.835 in theory. We'll see. Well, or 290. It's kind of what I have it capped at, so at least I thought I did. But yeah, I think it's slowing down a little bit. No, maybe it's going to try. Well, it's at 0.838, so it should back off some. Alright, so at this point, a little under 475 nautical miles. We're at cruise. That's about where I tend to try to get. We're up here, clear skies, on our way north to Chicago. So I'm going to step away for a little bit now, and I will join you as we get closer and are getting ready to keep descending. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we are back. We are outside of Indianapolis here. So that is what we're passing over there.
Center, Walker, 4021.
That's the airport there.
Good afternoon. We're descending through flight level 310.
Walker 4021, Indianapolis Center, good afternoon.
So, Kilo...
November 9537, Foxtrot climb and maintain 11000.
That's climbing to 11000, November 9537 Foxtrot.
So,
I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
Kilo India November Delta, which is the Indianapolis airport, is a user-created airport and tower simulator that has been added to Tower Companion. There were 6 airports there that I've picked up, and I think we're back to 3 airports available brand new from Feel there, so I think when we buy in bulk we're able to get a good discount, so I may go ahead and do that. They announced one today on July 4th. I think it was Washington Dulles, so it was KIAD that they added there, so definitely a bunch of options available for that. But haven't really touched the Tower Companion in a bit. Really, I did not use any of the schedules over the last month, which is not good, but still worth supporting, but that's partially why I knew, like, I don't need anything more than the base supporter, because it's just not going to get utilized. So, kind of interesting what we've got. I hope we're not doing all that. That would seem really goofy. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Is that really the flight plan? I don't know. It's going... Yeah, that just seems odd. I mean, I knew it was kind of going around, but I would assume it's just going to take us straight to trolley, but we'll see what happens. We've got 16 miles to get there. If not, I may just tell it to go direct to trolley, but yeah, we Fisk, which I think is right there. I think we're supposed to be at 11,000 for that.
Walker 4021, yeah. Indianapolis Center, contact Chicago Center on 121.05.
Contacting Chicago Center on 121.05, Walker 4021.
So yeah, interesting that the clouds
Chicago Center
don't seem
Walker
to be editing on auto FPS.
Good afternoon. We're descending through flight level 250.
Walker 4021, Chicago Center. Good afternoon.
But we'll see what it does, because yeah, that would be a really weird, like, abrupt turn. So I'm not even sure how this is going to choose to fly this, but if I go here, go to the flight plan, like, yeah, it's going to OKK, and then but Droz is kind of like right there.
American 513, climb and maintain flight level 390.
Climbing to flight level 390, American 513.
So I'm gonna want,
descend and maintain 9,000 feet.
Gonna want to see where we're at for midway. It's 3013. So let's get that dialed in, because we're getting close there. And we'll see what happens, because it's telling us to turn left to 187, like literally, which just does not seem like the best thing to do, but I mean, I think I just really want to go direct to trolley. So we're going to activate that, because it makes no sense to cycle around. Let's see. Alright. So now it's interesting, because it's like giving us a new top of descent, but that's not really what we want to be doing. So let's see, is it still... In theory, it's going to get to 11,000 by Fisk, but I don't know, because we're only 4 miles from Trolley. Now, again, we've got some distance to Gotna and all those, but no, I don't think it's cleared me to anything less. I guess it really didn't clear me at all. It just said descend, and it hasn't yelled at me, so it may not clear me at all. But we've got time. But going through Trolley. Yeah, because on the flight plan, like, it doesn't do that. It's just straight from OKK to Trolley to Gotna, so Definitely weird. But yeah, that should... Over 15 miles, we should be able to drop another 3,000 feet at least. So that's where it's showing 16,000 something. I mean, we've got time because we have 100 miles, and I think we're going to pass a little bit north of Midway and then come back, because again 2-2 is going to be a bit it's going to be facing south, so basically going southwest. So there's a 4,100 foot ceiling. Tells me it's overcast, so I'm looking at the METAR at Midway. Overcast at 14,000, broken at 6,000 and 4,100, which is where our ceiling is, and then few clouds at 700. Still listed as VFR conditions, so. Alright, but there we go. Just starting a gentle turn there. So yeah, a lot to, that you can always do. I was debating, I've only done one Formula One. If I want to finish that achievement in, or that tour in Walker, I've got to get it done before the end. I don't remember if it's November. I think it's early December.
728 Romeo Juliet.
But there's still like 30 flights, and they're all pretty long. So I may have to do some things in the evening, or I don't know. We'll see. I might take a look after this.
295.
I'm a little hesitant, given that it's the 4th of July and we're just kind of hanging out. I might do other things, and I couldn't do that if I am obviously having the plane flying for 7 or 8 hours. So I'm not sure that I want to toss that in to the flight simulator. I needed to get this flight done to keep the series on time for you guys. And so yeah, there's a few things. We're going to either have people visiting or will be visiting folks through the month of July. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to work around all that. Kind of expecting that will be possible, but we shall see. If I'm late, I apologize, but I know some folks enjoy just seeing the kind of leisurely travel from one location to another. My barometer's blinking. I
Walker
should
4021,
fix that.
Chicago Center, descend via Fisk K7 into Midway.
And we're on Fisk K7 already. We've been that way
Descend
for a while.
via Fisk K7 into Midway. Walker 4021.
Alright, and we're capped at 11. At this point, I'm thinking I can just go down to, let's say, 4. We should have another hard stop at 6 as we get closer to Midway. Yeah, now we're heading kind of due west, so that will help. So yeah, Fisk, I think, is after Carlton Fisk. Vac, Bill Vac, who also put up the Ivy in Wrigley Field, but was important to the White Sox. I don't know about Goatney and Trolley. I don't know about those, but I'm wondering if that is how this arrival or this star got set up. Because there are things like that around Nashville, for example, and all of that, so. Alright, but we've got, just a little bit, and then we'll be there at Fisk, right about where we should be at 11,000, so that, that means the computer fixed things pretty well. There we go. Now we should be able to keep going. Let's see, is there a new... There is, in theory, a new top of descent, so... I suppose we'll let it go. It's happening at VAC, it looks like. But let me go back here, because this, I think, is sometimes where things then don't quite work out the way we want, but it's alright. But it says 11, then 79, 7,200. Because, yeah, Ozzy, Azumo. I think those
Heavy
are...
proceed direct to 6 Alpha Lima
This is
Tango.
probably Ozzy Gian.
Proceeding direct to Alpha Lima Tango, Lufthansa 441
But
Heavy.
we will then circle out over the lake,
Walker 4021,
as you
contact
can
Chicago
see,
approach on
and then
128.2.
come in.
Switching to Chicago approach on 128.2, Walker 4021.
I don't know why she feels like no one can hear her and she has to talk like someone is deaf, but it's just kind of funny.
Chicago approach, Walker 4021. Good afternoon. Maintaining 1,000 feet.
Walker 4021, Chicago approach. Good afternoon, Midway altimeter 30.09er. Expect the ILS runway 4 right approach into Midway.
Expecting the ILS runway 4 right approach into Midway, Walker 4021.
No, that's not what I'm on. Although it's telling me not used. Lovely. Let's see. So if I change, well, 4 right is not used either. It should be on 3-1 right. I don't know. It probably won't let me switch. Sandra, let me have the comms for a bit.
All right, I'll hand over the comms to you.
Chicago approach, Walker 4021 requesting runway 22 left.
Walker 4021, runway 22 left is not currently active. Available runways are 31 center, 4 right, 4 left, and 31 left. Please choose one of these runways for your approach.
Because, yeah, 3 right is the one that's showing that's active, which is kind of funny. 3-1 left, my god, that's a 3,000 foot runway. Yeah, there is no 3-1 center, does it? Am I at the right airport? I just want to make sure. Yeah. I don't know. I think I might kill radar services. Chicago approach, terminating air traffic.
Walker 4021, flight following services terminated. Squawk VFR and frequency change approved.
Squawk VFR, frequency changed approved, Walker 4021. Alright, so now we won't get anything else. We'll just follow this in the way we have it planned. There's no reason we shouldn't be going that way. We don't have any heavy wind. There's like a 5-knot wind or something. Like, we can definitely do what we need to, so it's a bit odd. I'm not quite sure what is happening there, but you know, we need to get to basically just under 8,000 by Ozzy, so about 1,300 feet in 7 miles. So we should be okay. I think, yeah, it's slowing down because we're below 10,000. We should have our landing lights on. We've gone through the 14,000 cloud cover. I don't really, I guess, no. There's not much up there.
KLM 945 cleared for the visual approach, runway 9er report, 3 mile
But you
final.
can see the lake up there.
Visual 9er will report 3 mile
So
final.
we'll be
KLM
doing a
945.
little bit of a jog and then heading over the lake.
954, Chicago approach, radar contact, cleared direct Simmons, climb and maintain 4,000.
Clear direct Simmons, climb and maintain 4,000, Cessna 954, roger, thank you.
But less than 50 nautical miles now, so
9.4,
definitely getting
diversion
closer.
to Meigs Field.
Meigs Field? That's closed. Someone's flying historical fields. Yeah, they got rid of that long time ago, I think, if I remember. It was a popular thing with the Chicago Air and Water Show when I used to live there. They would use that for some of the aircraft. And you know, I know people fly it in Flight Simulator because I think it was one of the original airports, and if I remember correctly, I think it was like the first airport in the game that supported ILS. So I'm sure it's near and dear to people's hearts for various reasons. But yeah, that was interesting. Alright, so we are where it wanted to be. Again, we're heading to 6,000 at... well, it's not showing us, but after that, but Azomo, which is not very far. We're going to get to about 7,200, hopefully. And we'll go from there. So we're going to make one more little bit of a turn to the left, and then we'll do a relatively hard right. It won't be 90 degrees, but it'll be enough. So Valparaiso looks like, just looking at the charts as we're flying along here. So Valparaiso, Indiana. But we're kind of heading toward Gary. But we're going to head north and over to the lake before we do that. And then basically a straight line from Halley. So yeah, we're doing that last turn here. There we go. 7 miles to Halley. And then we'll go to German. And then a couple more waypoints. But yeah, German's at 4,000. Interesting that the one after German, it's telling us will be higher. But I don't know if that's because we're not going to be able to descend to the level we need to be. We should be okay, I would think. So all a little wild. But, you know, we had a few broken cloud layers here. And again, that's more over Midway, so out here in Indiana it's a little clearer. Obviously we do have the broken clouds, but... Alright, so now we're making the turn, and this will get us going, I don't know, 340 or so maybe. Yeah, it looks like we're going to 344, I think, is what I'm seeing there. And then that will be where we head, and then we'll join the runway 22 Yankee RNAV approach.
Air Canada 235, hold at waypoint Briggs. Expect further clearance in 10 minutes.
So there's another
Holding
top
at
of
Briggs,
descent,
waiting for
it
further
looks
clearance.
like,
Air Canada 235.
in a minute. So
Southwest 1421, Chicago departure, radar contact, cleared direct Lou Key.
Clear direct Lou Key now, Southwest 1421.
So I might, oops, I'm gonna go ahead and put me at 3, and then we're gonna flight level change here to get us down to 4, because there's really not a reason not to do that. So I'm kind of confused as to why it was doing what it was suggesting. So, but just about over the lake shore, another 3 or 4 miles, but that will happen pretty fast in a plane that's got a ground speed approaching 300. But there we go, we're at 5,000. guess we'll go ahead, we'll get the landing monitor out. I'm going to turn comms back over to, oh, I don't need to turn comms back over to her because we're not going to get clearance or any of that. We're just coming into land visually. No, we'll turn it over to her in case something happens. Sandra, take over the comms, please.
It's a VFR. I'm not really supposed to be helping you with the comms unless it's IFR.
Well, there you go. So, that's fine. Then don't. I just didn't know if we'd get some sort of a call once we landed as to where to taxi, but that's alright. We may not. Okay, so now do we have... Yeah, there is another top of descent. So I'm guessing there's some other points that we have to hit, so, but we'll let it do its thing there. But at least now we're at 4,000, because for whatever reason it has 4,600 for Linane, or however you'd say it. But yeah, so 1.5 miles. And then it will drop down to theoretically 3,600 at Boca, but alright, so it looks like, yeah, we've got another lock at 3,000. So, slight turn here. Shouldn't be anything substantial. 6 miles. Then we make a hard right basically on heading 270, and we'll take that into the lake shore again, and then we'll be coming in, circling over at that point. So we have tact, sails, Mindo, and then yacht. So I don't know if it's a boating arrival or I guess a boating approach. We're on the arrival now.
Delta 1221, descend and maintain 2,000.
Alright, so
Delta
it looks like we've
1221
started
descending to 2,000.
to drop again. And then in theory at Boca we'll be at 3,600 and change, so, but we're, yeah, 3,000 feet. So we're about 500 feet above sea level for the ground level here. And right, we can dial this back into 3009er for our emergency settings. And you can see we're kind of heading straight in. But we should be basically below everything except some really scattered clouds. But yeah, 274. So, and tact is where we start the approach. So we'll see. I should be able to. Won't put me in there yet, but I think once we convert over, because yeah, it's 3,000 for a while, but we are theoretically 15 miles out, so I'm slowing down to 210. So now I should be able to arm the approach. So we've got the glide path. Obviously an RNAV approach, yeah, won't necessarily have LNAV. Yeah, these look further away, but obviously I'm probably pretty zoomed in on the Navigraph charts, but yeah, definitely a bit. Yeah, it's now MVFR, so I think it's like approaching minimums, so we're getting to the point where we almost will need an IFR landing, but we're relatively set here. Alright, so we're going to lower the flaps. And that will help to slow us down. Get ourselves down to second flaps, gear down. Right, and now we're going down to 160. Glide path is coming down. You can see, well, after Dixon. Alright, but we're 8. Just make sure we've got wheels out. Yep. Alright, we are good. You can see the downtown area there, so we are getting close, but might want to sit up a bit. We'll see. Is it going to lock in on the glide path? It should soon, hopefully. Alright. It is not going to do that. So, let's see.
Bonanza 77 Delta Echo traffic at 1 o'clock,
there.
3 miles eastbound, altitude unknown.
Flight level change there.
773 Delta Echo.
And that should drop us down, because at this point we want to be, where, 2400, then 1900. So yeah, at this point we're going to start fine-tuning things, because at yacht we want to be at 1500. Which is not very far away. But the last turn will be at yacht. Is it 1500? Yeah. I'm going to be above 1500 there, which will put us basically at 1,000 feet. So we definitely don't want to go much lower, but we're at least catching up here. And I think now we're headed to yacht. But we should, alright, there we go. So we should be seeing the runway. Yeah, we're very close to yacht. We are going to go full flaps now. And that'll slow us down to 140 then. Alright, so at this point I should be able to drop down, and as we get
Traffic, 11 o'clock, high, 1 mile.
Alright. It's coming over us, I can see it. Alright, we're too low, so we'll let the auto throttle pull us up a bit. But yeah, we descended a little bit more aggressively than we wanted. Just kind of peeking at the PAPI lights here and there. Alright, so we got a white. There we go. Now we're doing better. So we should be okay.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Traffic, 9 o'clock, same altitude, less than 1 mile. Auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle.
I've had some sloppy landings. I don't understand. Alright. So we made it, but not in a good one. I mean, I think we... Let's see what landing rate told us. I can't... Oh no, it's up there. Yeah, 397, so we'll be okay. Okay. Just have to hit it twice to turn it off. Should be able to exit there. And again, I'll probably just park and go from there. Yeah, I don't know why I had such a hard time bringing that one in, but it definitely was not what I would have expected. It was definitely a lot
have your
more
approach
aggressive.
descend and maintain 4,000 clear to direct Cobham join 27 localizer.
Descending to 4,000 direct Cobham, joining 27 localizer 1243.
Southwest 4374. Say again.
320, Southwest 4470.
Alright. Let's get our flaps up.
Chicago approach, you're putting me right in the flat path of Chicago Midway with these vectors.
Oop, he sounds upset. He's probably not going to Midway, but... Alright, well, we're just gonna park ourselves over here next to these blocky Minecraft-like buildings. Alright, we're all set there. Just double checking my... Where's my walker tracker? God, I hope it didn't go away. That would really... No, okay. I'm like, that would not make me happy. Alright, so we will open up. We'll get these turned off. So engine 1, engine 2, deboarding. We were filed. And now if I go back here, oops, actually I wanted to go to tours, but and next flight will be a longer one, but yes, we did get credit for leg 20. And we are here at Midway, so I'll obviously be taking off from Midway and heading to Sonoma out in California. So we've got a 1,600 mile flight and a nearly 2,200 mile flight then back. So definitely I think the longest legs we have left, and they're a little longer than California or Mexico, but we knew we had that, and then we'll have some toward the end when we head back out. We'll kind of crisscross, but the country will go out, I think, to Vegas and then back to Phoenix. You know, we'll go to Vegas, come back somewhere in between, and then fly to Phoenix to end it, I believe, or maybe, I don't know. We're just following the schedule, but yeah, we have till November 9th. So that means the F1 series has till December, but it's just a challenge to get some of these done and so forth. But we'll see what we can do. Again, I don't do those on the channel at this point because they're just really long flights. So, you know, I've got plenty of other stuff I can share with folks. But yeah, so for next week we'll be doing that flight out to California, and we'll continue from there. But hopefully you've enjoyed this journey as we continue these flights through the NASCAR season, and I will see you next time.